Hello and welcome back. In this video, we'll be talking about editing your self-tapes, whether it's on a phone or on a laptop, and getting them ready for submission. If you are wanting to edit your videos on your computer, I use an editing software that's called Davinci Resolve. It is incredibly powerful, but we don't need all the facilities, we just need the basics for today. If you don't have it, I've left a link below so that you can go and download it. All right, the first thing that we're going to need to do is import our footage from our phone onto our computer. You can do that a couple of ways depending on what phone and what laptop you use, but import them onto your computer and put them onto a file. I've put it here, my film casting file. Once I have all of my clips ready, these are the 3 takes that I did, including my slate. Once you have installed it onto your computer, you are going to need to open Davinci Resolve in order to create a new project to work with your clips so that you can prepare your audition tape for submission. Click on New Project. Once you're in the new project, you need to import your files from your desktop into your editor. Go ahead and do that. Right, I just select change. That's just changing where Davinci Resolve is grabbing the file from. So it understands what file it needs for this editing session. So once we've imported our files into our editor, go down and you'll see right at the bottom of Davinci, you have different tabs. You want to go to the 1, 2, 3, the 3rd tab. This is your editing tab. Grab all of your clips and bring them onto your timeline. I usually bring the slate right to the beginning because the slate's going to be the easiest to process. You want to go to the front of your clip, find where you start talking, which is there, right? You'll see it from the audio that's underneath. Trim it just before, right? With your slates, you don't need to do much processing when it comes to your tapes. You just need to start clearly and then end with a fade. So play it through, great. Once you do your sides, your profiles, big smile, great. Let's cut it there. So if you want to use the shortcuts, you go B on your laptop, B on your keyboard, or you can go up here and you find this tool, which is called the blade tool. Click on that, cut it, go back to your arrow or push A, click on that last section and delete it. You don't need the rest. Cut it, trim the fat because you don't want to take too much time from the casting director. Now, usually what I do at the end of all of my clips is I go here onto your video transitions, click on your video transitions. You'll go down to dissolve to color or dip to color dissolve. Grab that and you'll see that it fits right over the end and then it fades to black. Great, that is your slate done. Now, in the previous video, we spoke about submitting 2 takes per scene. So I've selected my favorite takes from this. So what we're gonna do is do exactly the same that we did for our slates. We're gonna trim off the fat. Right, we find the beginning. We want to go B on our keyboard, cut off the fat, make sure that we are starting from your action, not setting into it and not getting started. Do exactly the same for the end of the clip. Listen, and let's cut it there. So we trim off the fat. You can either use your blade tool as we've done before, or you can do exactly what I did and just trim the end off of it by putting your cursor to the end of the clip and then pulling it back to your play line. Right, and then we're gonna do exactly the same. We are going to go to that dip to dissolve color, pop it in right at the end. You'll see there, as we zoom in, there is your transition. Beautiful. That seems like a good place to stop it. Then we're going to put our dissolve at the end, and either the casting director will want them as individual takes. So you will go and select each individual one and then you will export it individually, or some casting directors will want it as one single tape that you will then need to compress after this step. So let's put them all together and then we will export them. Now, this is a quick and easy way is you move your selector, your timeline, your play line to the beginning of your clip. You push I. that is for in on your keyboard, and then you go to the end of your submission and you push O. So in and out, and that will make a selection. Then what we do is we go down to our bottom of DaVinci and we find the rocket ship, right? The rocket ship, you'll see there, it says deliver. Let's click on deliver, right? This now has all three of our clips selected with our ins and our outs ready for export. Your file name here in the top left hand side is where you obviously change the name. So whatever character you are playing, that's generally what you're going to start your tape with. So it'll be your character name for whatever production, and then you'll have your name, in this case Richard, and your agent to follow. James for production, Richard, and agent. Good. Then what we want to do is just make sure this is a Davinci Resolve thing. You want to click on audio, go down to, you see it says codec. You want to click on that and change it from linear PCM to AAC. This is going to make sure that it is compatible to play on any device, whether it's a computer or whether it's on a cell phone. Then you're going to scroll down. You don't need to know too much about this. We usually export in H.264. That's your codec. Here 1920 by 1880, which is just high definition, which is absolutely perfect. And in this case, the frame rate is going to be whatever you shot it on. So in this case, it's 60 frames per second because that's what my cell phone was set to, and other times you'll set your cell phone to 30 frames per second. DaVinci is really clever. It picks up on the information within your video file, and it kind of makes it automatic for whatever you're going to export it. Once you've named it, you've checked your that it's H.264, you've changed the audio to ACC, you go down to the bottom left. After you have named it, you have changed the audio to ACC, and you check the frame rate and that it is H.264. Just underneath your file name, you will see it says location. Click on browse and make sure that you select a location for your video to export to. I generally like to put it onto my desktop. Select desktop, right to the bottom, add to queue, there at the bottom left hand side. And then once it's on the right hand side under render queue, then what we're going to do is just push render all, and then DaVinci will do the rest. Great, as you can see, DaVinci has picked up on the transitions dipping to black. All that you need to be thinking about when you are cutting your self-tape videos is trimming off the fat from the beginning and the end, and allowing for a transition at the end of your clip, between clips, or if you are submitting them individually, which I'll show you how to do now, then you will just have the dip to black right at the end of each clip. Let's jump back into the editor just to make sure that we cover all our bases. If you need to export these clips individually, let's show you how it's done. Right, we want to make sure that we have our transitions at the end of each clip. This is going to mean the end of your slate and the end of each take. This is obviously dependent on the brief, and this is obviously dependent on the casting director that you are submitting to. So same as we've done before, we select I on our keyboard at the beginning of our take and O at the end for in and out. Same T's and C's apply. We go down to our rocket ship, click on the rocket ship. Now with just our slate selected, we are going to make sure that all of our information is correct. In this case, James for production, Richard, agent. Then I'm going to add here intro, or you can say slate. Make sure that my location is set to desktop, or wherever you want your video, or wherever you want your video to go. Make sure that it's H.264. Your audio is on AAC. And your frame rate will be exactly the same that's in your timeline. Click on add to render queue at the bottom left hand side. Once it's added onto your render queue, your job card, your job number 2 in this case, you hit render. And then DaVinci will do the rest and export your video to the location that you have set, ready for your distribution. In the next video, we're going to be covering how to edit your self-tape on your cell phone using a free app called CapCut.